Cue the intro music. What's up everybody, my name is Evan Naka and we are actually in my studio today. This is the first video I think I've shot in my studio. Feels like it's echoey in here. Today I'm gonna be doing a technique that I do with a lot of my photos. Most of the time it's always around product, and that's focus stacking. Focus stacking is awesome, I use it all the time. And what focus stacking is when you have an object in front and then a depth of field in the background, you stack a whole bunch of photos in different focal depths and you smash them all together so that your final photo, everything is in focus. Now, it looks really cool when you have something that's like 5 feet away, 6 feet away, or even 2 feet away. It really, really looks cool. Today we're gonna be focusing on a much smaller depth of field, but it's really used for high-end photography. I know what a lot of people are gonna say out there, you could do this if you just put up the f16 and f18 and you take your photo and you'll get something very similar. And you know what? The truth is, you can get something similar. However, if you're trying to take your photography to the next level, these little changes that you're able to make, these new techniques that you're able to introduce, they make all the difference. So I urge you to not just think about it in like, oh, I'll just get the same thing, I'll bump it up to f16. No, take the time, be a little bit more deliberate with your shots and think it through and see how can I make this photo more elevated. We're gonna be shooting caviar. I mean, high-end photo, high-end caviar. Our friends at Imperia sent this to us and I was like, you know what? This is a beautiful can, it's a beautiful food. And when's the next time that I'm gonna have this much caviar just lying around so I can just take a photo of it? So that's what we're gonna be shooting today. And we're gonna style it like a high-end photo, almost artwork, that if you blew it up and put it on a wall, you wouldn't be mad at looking at it every day. Unless you don't like little circles and dots. And isn't there something where people are really scared or they don't like small circles or dots or holes or bubbles or something like that? I'm pretty sure there's a thing out there. I can't remember what it was. So if you don't like that, don't watch this any further. You're gonna be petrified. But if you don't care and you're just looking to upgrade your photography, then stick around because this is gonna turn out pretty cool. I'm fairly confident. Before we start shooting, I wanna go over the equipment that we're gonna be using today. We're gonna be using the Hasselblad X1D2. I love this for product photography. This is my camera choice when it comes to being a more deliberate with our shots as we've been talking about. I mean, if you have a Sony, if you have a Canon, if you have a Fuji, if you have a Nikon, it really doesn't matter. You can still do this same technique. You'll just have to figure it out on the settings. But today I'm gonna use a Hasselblad. I just think the photos that it is able to produce for shots like this are amazing. We're gonna be using a 2-light setup. I have two Profoto D2 500s and they're gonna be placed on either side. I'll probably move them around a little bit depending on how the lighting is hit, but overall, I just want a good glossy feel on the product itself and then a nice shadow, very soft shadow that comes off of it. And then everything behind it is gonna be pure white and the photo is gonna be really focused on just the product itself. And this is why I feel like it's gonna feel more high-end art than just another product photo. This is another fun piece of equipment that I have right here. It's my Titan Studio arm. It's only a 6-footer. If I had to do it all over again, I would have gotten the taller one, but they're kind of expensive, but you know what? They're a glorified tripod, not something you necessarily need, but if you have a studio space that you're moving around, it actually comes in handy more than you would think. So just another piece of cool equipment. Also, I'm gonna be using a 120 macro on the Hasselblad. I just got this adapter that allows for even closer focus. I'm gonna test it out. I don't think I'm gonna need it, but I figured just got it. Let's see what it does. And if it helps our shot, then we're gonna use it. If not, we'll toss it. Well, not literally toss it, just not use it for this one. Yeah, just what I thought. Don't need this. So all I'm doing now is I'm just trying to get a general idea of how I want the framing and maybe put up one light just so it's not super dark when I take a photo, but nothing is set yet. This is me just purely getting framing and then I'm gonna style the product and then we're gonna go into lighting. All right, we're at a good place now that I'm gonna start styling our product. I haven't figured out lighting completely yet. There's still more work to be done. Yeah, so this is where I warned everybody, if you have that thing I was talking about that you don't like little dots, not for you. But for those of us who love caviar, this is gold. Also, they sent me this awesome little mother of pearl spoon. Caviar is so fancy. You also need just like cutest little spoon to eat it too. Who knew? Here's something that I wasn't really accounting for. I want to make sure that we capture that really just beautiful mother of pearl in the spoon, but because I want the background so bright, I have to turn up the light really bright, or the ISO's really high, or shutter speed, you know, mess with it in a way that makes the background pure white. But if I do that, that blows out the mother of pearl spoon. So these are those little things that are gonna separate your photo from being good to great. It's that if I want to capture that detail, I'm gonna have to take two different photos for exposure. One that's based on the actual product, which is the caviar and the backdrop. And then the second one is gonna be solely focused on the mother of pearl. Now, I also said I'm gonna be focus stacking, so that adds another layer of complexity to the shot where I'm probably gonna have to do the focus stacking twice. I render out one full image of the exposed background to make it pure white, and then another version of it just exposing for the spoon, and then I'm gonna comp those together, paint it, get rid of all the unnecessary elements, and it will really make it pop. So that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna take both sets and we're gonna drop into a software. It's gonna stack them, and then we're gonna merge the two for the final result. I'll show you how to do it in Helicon, and then I'll show you the final image. So let's jump into editing. All right, so now that we have our photos, I'm gonna go ahead and I am just gonna export all of these photos as TIFFs. Just tell that group one, and then I'm going to export the second group, which is a lot smaller, because all I was focusing on was the spoon. And I'm gonna put that into group 2. So let's do the first one. Let's do group 1. Still uploading, so we're gonna wait. And while we wait,
Go after your dreams.
I just upload this thing.
Sure, you may fail, but what if you fly? What if you succeed?
It's stupid, but I relate to it. All right, I'm just gonna zoom in really quickly so you can kind of see the difference. So on my right-hand side is the rendered image. On the left-hand side is our first image. And I mean, out the gate, you can just see the difference is incredible. Like on the left-hand side, it is still very good and the top of the eggs are perfect. However, as soon as you go past the first maybe centimeter, it loses focus and everything is a little soft. Now you go to the right one, everything is just tack sharp, so sharp, and it just makes it pop even more. And then we'll clean up some of the debris and everything in post, but that kind of stuff is pretty easy. The main focus of this video was to really show you how to do this focus stacking like this. Looks great. And we'll do the same thing for our spoon image. All right, those all go in there, and we will render this really quickly to give us that same effect. It'll be a little quicker because now we're only dealing with 5 images, and let's go to save this. And there you go, we have our first hero image, and then we have our second image that we're just gonna use that detail of the spoon, as you can see here, and we're gonna lay that on top of each other and create our final image. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I'm Evan Naka, and here is the final result. Take care.